Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to Let's Play 999. 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors. We have liberated a snake, and we are at the second 9 door. We're about to go through it and to presumably the incineration room, because that's what was behind there last time, so let's giddy up.
Let's go. It's high time we went through that door.
I agree, Snake. You're smart. I think we actually saw that before, because I commented on how his arm was all pale, and you really couldn't see, what clothes he was wearing, since they used it for 2 different. They leapt through.
Oh, it's right there.
Although I might have also said that the last time, so I don't even know. Quickly, they scan their bracelets. And the detonator stopped.
Oh.
After pausing for a moment to catch their collective breath, Junpei and his companions headed down the long hallway in front of them.
All right, let's keep going.
At the end was a set of stairs leading down into the ship.
I think these stairs go to the bottom deck.
They leaned out and looked over the side.
Looks dry.
Well, that's good. Imagine if there was like a mistake Zero made and this area was flooded and he's like, ah, shit.
Let's head down.
After deciding it was safe, they headed down the stairs. Before long, Junpei and his companions found themselves on the bottom deck. They turned left into another hallway, and at the end of which they found another door.
Hey, it's a...
And of course, there was a symbol engraved over the keyhole. This didn't happen last time, although last time I think we actually went down the other one. It looked like a sort of harpoon one we used to hunt the fish. It's kind of with 3 prongs. So that is the one for Neptune, most likely? Snake tries to shape it with his fingers.
This is the Neptune symbol.
Haha, I'm amazing!
There must be a key around here somewhere.
Neptune key. I only have the Uranus key card.
Clearly, it wasn't going to open this door.
It's a different planet. Plus, it's the wrong kind of key.
Yeah, it's doubly bad. Not only can it not even fit into the lock, but if it did, it wouldn't work.
Let's turn around and go back for now.
Yeah.
After examining the door for a few more minutes, the government headed back the way they'd come.
Hey,
Wait,
another door.
doesn't make sense. Let's turn around, and then they play the audio file of them walking away, and then it's like, after examining the door, well, no, you just played the audio file of them walking away. Come on, game. I believe in you, but you gotta do better than this. A little more searching, they found a metal door. How'd you miss that?
This time.
So it's engraved on the card reader. Is that the Uranus symbol?
It's the Uranus symbol.
This is the place.
He muttered to himself and slid the card through the reader. It beeped once, and the light on it turned green. So what would happen if freaking Santa had taken this door just randomly instead of the other one? Although, if we go back to I guess it's not even my theory, it's now the theory that Santa is actually Zero, and that Zero actually wants everyone to survive, then Santa's action was A, to make sure that we didn't just leave one person to die, because even if that person figured out, Snake, they still wouldn't be able to get out through the door. So he specifically wanted us 3 to stay so that with Snake we could all leave. And if that's the case, he also intentionally took the other door so that we would come into the one with the Uranus symbol. Having all grown, the door creaked open. Huh. You can't even see. Shipping Clover, Snake, and Seven looked at one another. No, Snake can't look. So I'm smarter than that game. I found something that was full of books.
Wow!
Oh, this is the library. This is where we, in theory, should run into Alice.
It's totally full of books.
It sure is.
There's so many. I don't know where to look.
Well, it doesn't matter where you look. Everywhere you look, there's a book. You can't swing a dead cat without hitting 17 books. But why do you have a dead cat, Seven? You're nasty. Remarkably like a library. I wonder why. That's sort of a library where large numbers of people came to read books. So the library was simply a place to store them. He felt a little overwhelmed by the sheer number of books. But Junpei did his best to seek authority.
All right, if we want to get through that door out there, we need the Neptune key.
Gee, it is a card, so it's in between 2 pages of a book somewhere. Good luck, guys!
I say we split up and look for it.
Okay.
Very well.
Sure thing.
Good. Let's get started then. We don't have a lot of time. Hurry.
Alice sleeps in a small chamber past the forest of knowledge. I wonder what that weird white screen was to remind us of that information. Although, like, yes, okay, never mind. For split second, I was like, that is information from this playthrough, correct? Because the last time, whenever he, like, remembered the poem, that was not information from this playthrough. So I thought he might be communicating with himself again, but no. He definitely learned about Alice from 7 in this playthrough. And also, someone else was mentioning her, too. Sir, he didn't understand. Junpei felt those particular words float through his mind. Oh, wow, it's actually, I didn't know we had more of these. Interesting. Well, let's get seeking, guys. Jeebus. Paleontology. This one's about fossils, right? Aminites are pretty nasty looking. This one says transition of extinct species. Hurry up, or we're going to end up in the page of a book like that. Geology. Creatures of the South Seas. One thing got pictures of colorful fish and stuff. Micrographia. Ah, yes. Robert Fuchs was published in 1665. A microscope examined insects, inorganic substances, and other things too small to be seen in detail by human eyes. He drew pictures of many things he examined and published them in a book. There's a guild that shares contained with natural sciences. So this seems to be the science section. Why did mankind lose their tails? Jimmy, do you know what this one's about? Why are you asking me? It seems to be like evolution. Mankind were more likely to lose their tails. They're no longer useful, and the nutrients required to grow them were better put use elsewhere. At least that's what I read. I was rather young. I may have remembered it incorrectly. Theory of evolution. Heck, even I know this. Yep, Charles Darwin. That Darwin guy, right? Well, yes and no. Charles Darwin wrote a book called On the Origin of Species. Yeah, that's actually what I was thinking, even though I said that. And he proposed his theory of evolution. Remember that? You call it natural selection. But I did hear there was another scientist that had a very similar theory that was working on at the same time. Here's the Cambrian explosion. Did a bomb go off near someone called Cambria? No, that, again, has to do with evolutionary science. Wrong kind of explosion. Roughly 500 million years ago was known as the Cambrian period. Research suggests the variety of living organisms increased by an order of magnitude. Why that happened is still something of a mystery. There's a number of theories. This book is most likely a collection of them. That's some sort of book about the hippie. God, seriously, 7? Probably tangentially. Like about environmental protection. Man, I was just trying to make a joke. Dude, hippie chicks? You're as bad as Ace. There's an area down below. Is this where I just was? That one looks shiny. Kitab al-Aziz. Man, they got some weird stuff. I can't even pronounce this one. Who is that? Some famous guy? It's not a person. It's a name of a fictional book created by Abdul. What? It's amazing the snake is this well read, considering that he lost his eyes when he was 9. Created by Abdul al-Azred. One of the sources used in the creation of the legendary Book of the Dead, the Necronomicon. These are all occult books and stuff. This book is called Mind Swap. You mean you could, like, change bodies with someone? I don't mind switching bodies with my brother or Junpei too much, but I'd rather die than let 7 switch with me. What the hell? I want to swap bodies with a little brat like... Were you you were! Shut up. I don't know why you'd want to. Teletemporation. What the hell is this one about? Well, I know what telepathy is, but I've never heard of teletemporation. Isn't that where you, like, an out-of-body experience in a different location? First having the ability to travel through time. No, it's not. This one says the golden rabbit and the moon on it. Does that mean it's about a rabbit that lives on the moon? Rabbits are pretty cute, but what's the moon stuff about? It's talking about the Judas tree said to grow on the moon, according to Chinese legend. Energy theory, huh? don't even understand the damn title. The shelf's all science and technology. Really, they're not gonna let me examine the shelf. Interesting. What's the deal with these titles? I'm trying to see if you can rearrange them into something interesting. They're all just gibberish. What if we, like, switch them around? Yeah. If we move them around, maybe they'll spell something. Pino. I'm trying to see if you can spell zero with them, but you can't. There's no Z's. That spells bulb. I'm not quite sure what I'm supposed to be doing here. It spells lub. I can spell nope at the top. But that's the problem. I don't seem to be able to actually... A couple books on this shelf. Property values going up in space too these days. Man, I guess times are tough for aliens too. This one says cosmic inflation. God damn it. Supersymmetric string theory and 10-dimensional space-time. They're just talking about superstring theory. It's a theory of reality where... how to explain? It says that all elements of the universe are governed by the vibrations and harmonics of tiny supersymmetric strings. Yeah, this library is over my head. An overview for conformal field theory. Oh, that's a theory that posits the invariant quantum field where conformal transformation can take place. You try to put me asleep? Theory of general relativity. Yep, that's Einstein. That's Einstein, right? Yep. That's a theory that holds that if someone is your niece or nephew, then you are to them an aunt or uncle. It's general relativity. I told a joke. God dang it. Cat, stop. Quantum gravity. So, you have any idea what this is? I would just start by using real words. Maybe we'll get somewhere. And it's going to be about the electrolysis and electrolyte solution. The laws were set down by Michael Faraday. Oh wow, I probably should have started with this. Lights to the books. What does that mean? Well, intelligence often hides itself in darkness. You ever thought about the pages of a book? Each page only sees, like, what, maybe 2 or 3 minutes light, the reader's on to the next? That's why I'm locked in dark. That's an interesting theory, if you think about books as living things. Rather like myself. That's horrible. Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining, not at all. I live in the darkness, yes? It has gifted me with the ability to catch the truths others might miss. There are voices hidden in the darkness, you might say. Well, find the key. It's in a book somewhere. It's in a book. Reading Rainbow. Dad, what the hell is this? The German mathematician. It's a compilation of his work. Leibniz? This book's in German. Looks like it's the complete works of something. I never heard of it. Well, Snape doesn't know what it is. I think we'll ever know. Shielddrake? Isn't Shielddrake... Oh, it didn't tell me. Owen, huh? Owen's not enough to get on. Maybe it's about the English Revolutionary? I feel like these are definitely related to upstairs. It says Riemann hypothesis. What's the hypothesis with a Riemann? Isn't it pretty straightforward? Heaven, there are many factors. Length. Oh my god! It's an exciting and rapidly growing field. Snake! Snake! That's your sister. That's a weird book, Junpei. Indian mathematics. That's funny. The Pythagorean theorem. That's the famous one. Yep, that's a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So there's a number of math books in this section. Algebraic number theory. There's another one like that over here. Something like primary number theory or analytical number theory or geometry. Oh, how did you know? What's that easy about those? Oh, number theory is usually split into 4 cheap disciplines. If there was a book named Algebraic Number Theory, I took a wild guess the other 3 would be there as well. It looks like I was right. This one's Goldbach's Conjecture. Right. But about jewelry, isn't it? It may have an odd title. It's actually a very respectable math book. It deals with one of the unsolved problems of additive number theory. Okay, we go back to this. So, Owen. Modern Japanese literature, huh? Origin of Japanese. So, this is the otaku shelf. This one's about folklore, though. Well, folklore can cover a wide range of subjects. History, urban life, religious trends. So I'm not doing a good job of differentiating Snake's voice. Environmental changes, oral traditions. Folklore can cover all those things if you know where to look. Agriculture and history. So what is this? This is just a big library. Like, what are we looking for? Looks like it's an old folktale. You know what, weird that this book's the only picture book? We gotta hold on to it. So, what's inside? Aren't you gonna open it? SE5. What is that? Oh, those 4 letters popped out. So, like, I wonder what it means. Somebody, I wonder what this. What's the warm? Oh no, I'm sorry. What the hell? Did they actually grab each other's hand, or what's the deal with the sappy? I don't even know what happened. The shelf on the left? This bookshelf is sort of glass inlay. It's pretty big, but there's only 6 books on it. That seems kind of weird. Looks like there's something on the bottom, though. Can't really see it, though. The glass is all foggy. And I'm guessing it's locked. Last door's a cylindrical lock. Kind of lock where you rotate the numbers around till you got the right ones to open it. What the hell is this? It's like they just gave us the answer. I don't know what SE5 is supposed to mean. Small enclosure with 9 sides. But I think these things that look like music stands. Then you can open them up. Oh yeah. We gotta make a shadow on the bottom there. So we've got this. Okay. Yep. Oh god, I didn't realize this turned. What's Hellenism? I think it's something like fusion of Greek and Oriental culture. It's another one of those kids' picture books, like the other we found. So, RILK. God damn, 7! Stop! No, probably not. Not in a kid's book. History of the medieval period. Maybe it's about Sir Lancelot? Isn't he just a story? I'm not gonna find a guy that didn't really exist in a history book. History of Buddhism. Look, this one says cultural heritage of Rome. Maybe a serious inheritance tax. Permian creatures? Seems a little fancy for some kind of prehistoric creature. Oh, I missed some of that. Whoops, god dang it! Human equilibrium theory. Human anatomy. Regeneration of internal organs. What's this book doing here? Maybe they were researching film elements across history. This one's called Recreation of Lost Human Functions. They're talking about if you, like, lose part of your body, you could grow it back? I don't think so. Maybe they're talking about reconstructing abilities that humankind must once possessed. Move, cat! In other words, maybe talking about cultivating a sixth sense. Dissection Atlas, huh? Also, it's full of medical books. Function of the human brain. Is it a book about the nervous system? Kind of curious about it too. There's got to be a reason why people connect with each other, you know? This one, this is part of a series. They do have the same binding. Head. Okay, so we've got all of these. Where's a little monkey behavior? And that's a book describing praxeology studies in monkeys. Which are very similar to humans evolutionarily, so I imagine the research was fruitful. It's called Correlation of Muscle, Bone Density, and Bone Strength. Just saying that because it says muscle. And it sounds as though these books have been organized by genre. Wow, he finally figured that out, man. I figured that out like 2 shelves in. So now we got the 3 of these. This is a little weird. There are 3 lights. They aren't very bright, though. You can sort of see the letters. Too dark to really tell, though. So I need to find replacement lights now? Here these are. So where do I get a light from exactly? What's that? Some sort of comic book? Guess Bruce really like that stuff, huh? Now you're thinking of a different sort of robots. This book is talking about automated machinery that's used to build things like cars. I have not heard Snake talking too long now. I don't know quite how he sounds. What was that one called? It says Foundation of DNA and Genetic Engineering. An overview of photochemistry. Whoever set this up wanted to see the cover, not the spine. Let's look at it, okay? So there's a whole lot of space behind these books. There's something hidden behind the books. Interesting. Pretty generic title. To be honest, it's so vague, I don't really know what it might be about. This show of the transition of 6 species about living creatures. Paleontology, Mother Nate. Okay, so we're back here. Do I need to get a set for each? Because it's not letting me, like, lift off any other books. But I feel like I need more than one light. But let's try it. Hey, did we find some kind of really powerful light bulb earlier? Why don't you put it into one of these lights? Look a lot brighter, but... There are 3 lights, that means 3 light bulbs. And that's pointless, we can place all 3 bulbs. God dang, where do we get them? I mean, like, I can click on these, and I can try and find stuff, but... Dadkind. Libernitz. Sheldrake. And Owen. Okay, I think this might be something, actually. Let me, instead of just running around, let me go ahead and take some notes real quick. So, blue is Owen with 7 volumes. Red is Dadkind with 7 volumes. White is Libernitz. Libernitz. With 8 volumes. And pink is Sheldrake with 8 volumes. Okay, so we'll go ahead and go back up here. Oh, that's what that is. I was like, what's that? Okay, so the light blue is... These are not the same colors. And I can't make Owen or anything that seems related to that. Wrong button. Hey, look at this. It's called Greek mythology. Damn, that thing's huge. Imagine it was actually read the whole thing. You should have just put me to sleep. I'd assume it's about European history. Interesting. Snake doesn't know much about Oriental. This is on China's 4,000 years of history or something. China's Oriental history aren't the same thing. Black hole gamma ray astrophysics. Just listen to me, those titles give me a headache. So I've already checked all these. I need 2 more light bulbs, and I do not know where to get them. So guys, I'll be back when I actually find something, because at this point, I'm just randomly looking around. So I will see you in just a second. God damn it, you guys. Okay, so apparently the key to this combination is 632415. Did not even think to look inside the thing because I'm so used to you have to unlock to access it that I was... What is going on here? 6 3 2 415 415. You did it, Jumpy! Yay! I don't know why. I don't really feel particularly happy. I don't know why I was really happy being praised for that. Whatever. This lock's open now. Okay, there's a stupid bulb. Water still less. This should be generating quite a bit of light. So now we have the last one. So guys, once again, I'll be back when I find something. Well, I found something. I didn't really mean to. I was just messing with the books, and now it says open here, find bulb. Which seems not at all a puzzle and more of just riffraffly. Is it the right order? Open this thing right up. That was a piece of kit. Shut up! You did it, Junpei. I guess that turned out well enough. That's how to spell out open here, find bulb. Okay, so now that we've got that, we can go downstairs, back to this thing, put the lights in. There's 3 lights in here. Gotta change the bulbs, and now they should. Awesome! It worked! Way to go, Junpei. Good job, buddy. Just on the bottom. They seem familiar. Sheldrake 5. Okay, so that is obviously... It's a Sheldrake that's right in this book. Got the volume number in the lower part of the spike. Well, yeah, take it. The hell? Do I actually have to, like...
Sheldrake 5?
Really, I had to click on it so Junpei would read the damn thing.
I think I saw the rest of this collection somewhere.
Yeah, me
Yeah,
too.
I think it was somewhere around here.
You think?
Let's go take a look.
Okay.
Sheldrake.
Have you heard of him? Sheldrake, I mean.
I have not.
Yeah, Lotus told me about him.
There's a British biochemist named Sheldrake. He has a rather interesting theory.
Oh, I did not actually remember that this was the same guy.
Morphogenetic fields, which relies on the theory of morphic resonance.
Really? From Lotus, huh?
Well, Clover also said something to me about that stuff.
She did?
Yeah, Snake, everyone trusts Junpei. When you disappear for half the game, that's what happens.
Yeah, what was it?
The ability to access a morphogenetic field is affected by a couple of things. The first is epiphany, and the other is danger.
That girl. I told her not to tell anyone.
Well, has Clover ever listened to anyone?
You did? Why?
Well...
Look, man, I didn't push it because we're in a hurry, but I'm kind of sick of this. How about you just tell me, okay?
Tell you what?
Don't give me that. About the experiment.
Ugh. Very well, fine. I'll tell you everything. But not here. Let's move to the top floor.
Okay, good. We actually have some, like, information incoming. Information's
I
coming.
might as well start by telling you why I kept quiet. And why I made sure Clover did as well.
That would be helpful.
To be honest, the explanation is quite simple. Zero told me not to. I had little choice.
Oh, don't give me that. You always have a choice.
He didn't walk up and tell me, of course. He gave me a message engraved on a card.
That's a Braille card.
Well, how else would you give Snake a message?
It looks just like the one you showed us earlier. So you had 2 cards.
No, only one.
Huh? What do you mean?
He just, like, none of you guys knew Braille, so he didn't translate
I
it.
thought
Or
that card just had some rules for the nonary game on it.
Yes, it did. And those were the rules I read you. However, they were not the only thing on the card.
Yeah, I was gonna say, since no one can read Braille, he can easily just omit some stuff.
There was something I didn't read. Well, perhaps I should say there was something I couldn't read.
And that was?
Tell no one of the events that took place 9 years ago. Tell, and I activate your sister's detonator. It's a threat on our lives.
Oh. Well, Well, what about Clover? Did she get a message from 02?
I don't believe she did. But doesn't it strike you as strange that Zero would shut my mouth, but not hers?
I'm actually surprised you brought it up at all.
Yeah.
To be on the safe side, however, I told her it was best not to tell anyone. Still, apparently she told you. That girl.
What's wrong with her telling me? I figured some stuff out with the things she told me.
And what's interesting here is that, like, one of the special rules for Snake was not to tell anyone about what happened 9 years ago. And if we are correct and Santa is 0, then that's why nothing's happening to Clover, because Santa has to be in the vicinity.
I mean, it looks like the whole activate her detonator thing was just a bluff. She's prancing around downstairs happy as a clam now that you're back.
That's very true. I've decided I can trust you.
Yay! Snake likes me. Snake likes me.
I've decided to tell you the truth.
How magnanimous of you.
The chance that Santa is 0 is very high. I feel I can assume Santa doesn't have the time to observe us at the moment.
That's kind of what I was just thinking as well.
And at any rate, even if he were, I very much doubt he would kill us.
Based upon what, I wonder?
Why?
Clover told me about the 4-leaf clover, about the words. If he knew about that, then he was in my group during the first experiment. I'm sure of it.
I thought, the entire game, I thought that Santa was actually in the initial group. It's actually funny, someone, I won't say tried to dissuade me, but was, like, giving me, it's like, well, they never really said he was there, he just happened to know a, like, tertiary piece of information. But no, I saw through your clever disguise.
He wouldn't kill us, no matter what the situation was.
Hey, Snake?
Yes, I know. You want to know what happened during the experiment.
He's like, God damn it.
Yeah.
How much do you know?
Clover told me about...
I see. The morphogenetic field in the experiments 9 years prior. How the experiments had taken place simultaneously at 2 locations, one being the ship and the other being a building in Nevada.
Yeah, I never really understood what the point of the Nevada location is.
And the girl that died during the experiment.
The one that Clover got cut off right before she told me the name of. But I'm pretty sure is either Nona or the other daughter.
She told you all that, did she?
He's like, the depths of which she ignored me, God damn it.
At any rate, I now know how much you've learned. All that remains for us to determine...
is who did this and why, right?
Yes.
Can you tell me what happened?
Yes. The people who organized the initial experiment were from a company called Cradle Pharmaceuticals.
Yep, of which Ace is the CEO, although we actually haven't confronted him in this timeline.
There were 4 of them running the show. Gentaro Hongo, Nagisa Nijisaki,
Interesting.
Teruaki Kubota, Kagechika Musashido. Hongo was the CEO of Cradle Pharmaceuticals.
Okay, so that's what Ace looked like.
Nijisaki was his right-hand man, and did the lion's share of the planning. Kubota led the company's research and development division. Musashido was their majority stockholder. It was these 4 people who planned the initial experiment.
So it's interesting that they are blocking out the most of their faces in this flashback, which we know who Ace is. We know Ace is the CEO. But I'm wondering if the other people are anyone else. Because it seems odd they wouldn't let us see their faces unless they were someone we actually had run into. And on that idea, I'm actually wondering if the guy in white is the ninth man. Because he kind of looks like it. His hair is much more prim, but his overall body structure kind of looks like the ninth man. I don't know who the other two could be, though.
Let me simplify it for you. Hongo designed it, and Nijisaki put it all together.
And also, the whole idea that the ninth man, was listening to Ace kind of makes a lot of sense if they were part of Cradle Pharmaceuticals.
Kubota developed the technology required, and Musashido provided the cash.
So it's Hongo, Nijisaki, Kubota, Musashido.
HNKM.
Of course, more than 4 people were required to conduct an experiment of this scale.
Yeah, these were just the ringleaders.
To that end, they organized a top-secret team to assist them with their research. All in all, they gathered 10 people or so. Those 10 completed their team, and they were able to begin the project. They named it the Nonori Project.
Okay. They were certainly not kidding about this experiment being the exact same, 9 years ago.
The purpose of the experiment was to research the prospect of controlling a human mind through sheer will. The vessel, I suppose you could say, for this control was the morphogenetic field.
Okay, that makes a degree of sense.
Why did the glycerin suddenly begin to crystallize? Why did the crystal structure of EDT undergo a sudden change? Why did the rats improve their puzzle-solving skills with each generation? Experiments with humans produce the same results.
Yep, people would recognize the painting more easily.
The more people who knew the answer to a question, the more there were who could answer correctly without having seen the problem before. Why is that? How could it happen? The answer is that the shape of the answer has been stored in a field invisible to the naked eye. And through that field, the resonant event transmits information related to that answer.
I know I've said this before, I'm just really curious how actual science-y this is. Like, how much of this is made up and how much of this, really did happen.
That's essentially the idea behind morphogenetic fields.
But that's just a theory.
Can't bring yourself to believe it?
Yeah.
Let's say someone killed another person because the devil told them to do it. Whether the devil exists or not has no relevance to the murder. They believe the devil exists. Whether or not he does is immaterial.
That's unfortunately true.
So what matters here is that Hongo believed in the morphogenetic field.
So yeah, again we get back to why does the CEO of a pharmaceutical company, someone in the sciences, believe in something as unscientific? Although again, I mean he is actually carrying out experiments for it, so I shouldn't call it unscientific.
That's right.
But I still don't get it. You said they wanted to figure out how to control people, right? That is what you were saying.
Yes.
So how are they going to do that with a morphogenetic field?
I'll keep it simple. Let's suppose 10,000 people have solved a certain problem. The chance of you knowing that answer, even if no one has told you, will go up.
Which gets back to the random flashes of insight from my other playthroughs.
Let's have another example, shall we?
Or if I want to get super meta, the fact that I was playing this game online and all of you guys were seeing my other playthroughs actually communicated back into the game and helped Junpei. Clearly.
Say 1 million people were to do a handstand right now. Tomorrow, the chances of you doing a handstand would be higher, even if you had heard nothing of this hypothetical mass handstanding. Mankind's thought process and actions are all part of a resonant event.
Such an interesting idea, although I don't really buy it.
All of the resonant events encoded in the fields are projected onto you. Of course, this assumes you believe in this theory. Do you follow so far?
I do.
Yeah.
Now, if there was a person who had the same effect as those millions of people, what would happen?
That person could influence human thought and action.
If that one person were to do a handstand, other people would find themselves wanting to do handstands as well.
Is this getting to the idea of like what actually makes a cult of personality?
Can you imagine what a person with powers like that would be able to do?
Come on, there's no way.
I'm not done. Imagine another scenario. Imagine another person. This is an ordinary person. Let's say he does a handstand. What if there was someone who could grab the resonant event he created by doing that and use it to make other people do handstands? What would happen then?
That seems less plausible.
A person who has the power to write to the field, and someone who can read from the same. You could think of them as the writer and the reader, or the transmitter and the receiver. What would the world be like if there were people with abilities like these?
It'd be pretty messed up, but it would be pretty awesome at the same time.
So the transmitter's resonant event can be transmitted through the field and sent to the receiver. And then the transmitter can control the receiver however they wish. That's what you're saying, right?
Yes. Close enough, at least.
Come on, that's just crazy.
Well, if you want to prove that, then you'll have to test it first.
Wait, how are we going to test it?
At least, that was how they thought.
Oh, gotcha.
That was why they decided to do their experiment.
And they abducted 9 kids to do it?
That was how the Nonary project began. By the way, Junpei, have you ever heard of the Gansfeld experiment?
Probably, but I don't remember the names of the experiments that
Yeah,
well.
that was an experiment in telepathy, right? You place a pair of subjects in separate rooms. Then you show one a picture and ask the other what they see.
Okay, I actually have heard of this.
Interesting. I'm impressed. Yes, that is exactly correct.
I don't remember if I heard of it in this game or not, but I must have if Junpei's answering it.
So, why did you bring up the Gansfeld experiment?
It was used to screen subjects for the Nonary project. The
Interesting.
hospital in a remote town was affiliated with Cradle Pharmaceuticals. Hongo used it to conduct experiments on visiting children in secret. Some of them, he found, had potential. He began to gather children that showed promise. Children that seemed as though they might be able to access the field.
I mean, that does make sense. If you want to look for people, you need people with a predisposition.
Of course, none of them volunteered. They were kidnapped. There were 9 pairs of siblings taken, for 18 children total.
Interesting. So who is Santa's, Someone actually mentioned the possibility that Santa's sister was the random girl that got killed back then. And the fact that Snake is here with his sister, but Santa apparently doesn't have any siblings around, kind of very, very lightly reinforces that idea.
For reasons that were not fully understood at the time, each pair had one transmitter and one receiver. They were split perfectly. As such, the 18 children were split into 2 groups of 9. The children who were put into Group Q were the ones who excelled at transmitting. They were transferred to the mock experiment building known as Building Q in the Nevada desert.
Okay, so Group Q went to Building Q. Makes sense.
The children who excelled at receiving were put in Group A. Group A was then placed on the former hospital ship Gigantic. From the experiments
Why
he'd conducted
Gigantic?
so far, Hongo had learned the following.
Like, that's what doesn't make sense. Why would you randomly be like, let's put it on an ocean liner?
There are 2 things that can increase one's resonance with the fields.
Yeah, Epiphany and Danger.
The first is epiphany. The other is danger.
I've heard this before.
Have you ever been faced with an especially difficult problem and thought about it very long and very hard until finally an answer suddenly appeared in your mind?
No, but I know what you're talking about.
It may seem obvious to say so, but that is what is meant by epiphany. The information obtained through that epiphany can be easily transmitted through the fields, where it can be easily interpreted. Adding danger to that equation allows for even easier field access.
Makes sense.
That's where Hongo came in.
He had to put the children in danger?
They set up a number of puzzles across the Gigantic. The participants had to solve each one before they could move to the next room. Of course, he hadn't forgotten to include danger. He had detonated a bomb on the hull of the Gigantic. The children in Group A were forced to play the nonary game as the ship sunk.
So wait, does that mean we're actually on the third ship and not on the Gigantic like we originally thought? It's just been retrofitted to be like the Gigantic? Because that seems to imply the Gigantic sunk. I mean, I guess they could have saved it and made it so it wouldn't actually sink.
By forcing the children into a life-or-death situation, Hongo hoped to increase the likelihood of their tapping into the fields. The children from Group Q, on the other hand, were confined to the mock experiment building, Building Q. Building Q duplicated the interior and puzzles of the Gigantic exactly. Every detail was exactly the same.
Ooh. I wonder if that means that the Gigantic actually did sink, and this whole time we've actually been in Building Q.
Hongo explained the situation to the children in Group Q.
This must mean the snake was in Group Q.
Solve the puzzles you find throughout the rooms. When you have the answers, transmit that information to the children in Group A. If you succeed, they will be able to solve the puzzles and escape. But if you fail, then the Gigantic will sink, and your brothers and sisters will drown. Those were his orders. Do you know why the astronauts of Apollo 13 were able to return to Earth safely?
Yeah, because Tom Hanks is amazing.
It was because NASA had access to a replica of the Apollo 13 capsule.
That is also true. They were able to actually, it was an exact replica, and so they were able to go through hundreds of power-on sequences until they found one that worked.
All of the equipment, the instruments, everything. All of it identical. Everything was just like the real Apollo 13.
Except for being the space part.
NASA was able to replicate the situation the astronauts found themselves in. By putting themselves in the same situation, they attempted to solve the problems the astronauts were dealing with.
Yeah, that is very true.
Once they found solutions, they reported their findings to the men aboard the actual capsule. That was how they were able to return safely.
I agree.
It was the same with the Gigantic in Building Q. The children from Group Q had to use the power of epiphany to solve the puzzles they found and transmit what they learned through the fields.
Well, that doesn't... The problem with that is why can't the children in Group A just solve the puzzles naturally?
The children in Group A, however, they had to access the fields to learn how they might advance to the next stage. That is the simplest explanation I can manage.
Huh.
Hey, Junpei, Snake! How much longer are you two gonna sit around on those bony asses?
Yeah, this does seem like a really bad time to be doing this.
Get down here already!
He's right. Let's go, shall we? We don't have much time. We need to get out of here, and soon.
Hold it. There's one more thing I want to ask you.
Oh my god, Junpei! We're literally dying here.
Are you sure that there were 18 kids?
What kind of question is that?
Why?
Well, I thought it was only 16.
Oh, yes. That was what they said on the news, wasn't it? Yes. I have no doubt that 18 children were abducted and used in Hongo's experiment.
Interesting. I know the news might not report on the one that died, but what about the other one?
After all, you couldn't exactly play a nonary game with any less, could you?
Well, yeah, but are you saying that the news got it wrong?
Yes, I am. There were 2 more children. However, they had no relatives that I'm aware of. I imagine no one filed a police report when they went missing.
That's probably Santa and his brother or sister.
They were brother and sister, like Clover and I.
I figured it was sister, but I didn't want to just say sister but just based on the whole, the random girl died, and we kind of had pegged that to maybe be Santa's sister.
The brother's name was Aoi. The sister's name was...
Is it going to be cut off again?
Her name was...
God damn it.
Her name was Akane.
Really? That is unique and unusual. But obviously, like, that can't be June, because June's here.
That was the girl who died.
Oh, god damn it. He hadn't even said that yet, and I immediately went to the girl that died, even though I guess it's more likely to have thought for a second that June and Owie slash potentially Santa were brother and sister. Except, I mean, now we know that. I guess they still, in theory, could be, but it's. I don't quite know what to think of that. To be honest, my brain's kind of broken.
Wait. Akane Kurashiki died
Well, no, it's obviously not her. Junpei, don't be stupid.
9 years ago? Then, who is June?
Why do you think Akane is not a unique name, Junpei?
No. That's impossible.
Yeah, she's obviously here.
Can't be true.
It isn't true.
Akane isn't that uncommon of a name.
Exactly. Junpei's so dumb.
If Snake had known her last name, that's a different matter entirely. So they share a name. A lot of other people do too. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, you're not a protagonist from Persona 3, buddy.
It was someone else. Of course it was. It has to be.
Is something wrong, Junpei? Your breathing sounds strange.
Oh, no, it's nothing. I'm fine. Let's get back down there, alright? I couldn't do it.
You couldn't ask?
Why didn't I ask?
Because you're... I mean, at the same time, why would you ask? She's obviously not dead 9 years ago when she's on the boat. Like...
What's her last name? I just couldn't get the words to come out.
Alright, so we're way over time, but I do want to come here and click that. Didn't say 5 at the end? Yeah, so that's why I clicked on the 5th volume. Big round button behind I could have gotten that hours ago. That's an awful... Like, where's all those books going? There wasn't room for them. What was that sound? Sounded like something really big was moving. Came to the top floor. Let's go. It's just like an output monitor. Notice you have on the keyboard show up here. So 13, 14, 10, 13. So 13, 14, 10, 13. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M. M, N, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. No. These Roman numerals. You go to the Arabic numerals. 13, 14. Yeah, I know that. I already did that. Did I do it wrong? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M. No. It's definitely M, N, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, M, N, J, M. Unless we're counting 0 like we... So if we do it this way, it is actually... except 10 is 10, so that doesn't work. What if we do it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 4... Yeah, but we can't do that because 10 is just a 10. So it is 13, 14, 10, 13. Because that's the other problem. I would totally just use that system if it wasn't for the fact that 10 is just 10. Dude, we've already done this. Like, that's the very first thing I did, game. Hate you so much. 13, 14, 10, and 13. But that's the thing. When you look at it... Oh, god damn it. 10 is A. I'm stupid. For some reason I thought 10 was, like, 10. So if that's the case, if 10 is A, and then 11, 12, 13, so it would be D, E, it's dead. You did it, Junpei! It's unlocked now! Well, don't get too excited. That's where it's dead, remember? You wonder what waiting for us isn't good. We can't be worried about stuff like that. I mean, come on, we done unlocked it. Let's go, hurry up! Alright. We found it. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and end this episode. A lot of speculation happened in this episode. A lot of things that I'm not sure of. Nope. See you next time, everyone. Thank you very much for tuning in.